I should have had the mental fortitude, let's just say, to cut it off when I like go with my gut and say, hey, I don't think this is the right fit. Let me just move on and, just not let this linger. But I didn't. I let it, they were over promising, under delivering. I was going based off their words, not their actions. It kind of just cost me my own time. And it's like, that's what I want to avoid is I want to partner with people who we're amplifying one another. We're both growing businesses together. If you are over promising and under delivering to me, what are you doing to other people? If you're doing it to me, you're probably doing it for other people. It seems like you don't really. Also, I actually find that like when people try to hide things, in my experience, when you're trying to overly sell, to be honest, it's actually better in business to be vulnerable, in my opinion, because we could overcome the vulnerabilities together. But if you're basically lying, if you're saying that certain things are going well when they're not, what winds up happening is it's a never-ending problem to overcome. It's like it's okay not to have all the answers, but if you're also hiding what you think people or controlling what you think people want to know and hear, how are you supposed to have like a partnership?
Yeah, that hurts that ability because trust level is going to be lower and lower and lower.
That's what happened. Have you ever not been paid for work?
I
would say, but that promised work. I mean, obviously, I think most people have done things for free. I actually am a big proponent, especially when you're getting started, to over deliver value by not necessarily expecting a return. But it's different if the expectation is you're getting paid and then you don't get paid. That's scamming.
Yeah. So I think I've always been paid, but not necessarily in a promptly fashion. So there are delays that go unexplained. There is no, I guess, apology about it or an update, and so it's just a little awkward. And I have to remind myself to be professional, be kind, because those are my values. Being kind, I have to remember that, and when I can, then I bring it up at an appropriate time without making them feel uncomfortable. So I have experienced that, but I've always been paid eventually. Right?
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. In terms of what you share, I've never looked at it as far as assessing the strength of the customers or the client's business as well. I've never looked at it like that. Making sure that I understand how they're making money and the feasibility and sustainability of that. Because if they don't make money, then they're probably going to have a hard time paying me. I think I've overlooked that from the sheer excitement that, yes, I got one. I got a client, right? Going to make some, earn some money now. And let me just act like I don't see the yellow flags.
Yep. I've many examples of that where they did pay me, but I went down the path. To be honest, that's where I resonate a lot with your business model, because that's where I started. And I felt the same way. I was so excited to get them set up on LinkedIn and kind of doing lead generation that I totally ignored the viability of what it is that they were selling and their ability to like close, and trying to actually think about it from a customer's, like an objective customer's point of view, where if I do all this work and you get on a call, would I, if I was that person, understand what you're selling and want to move forward? And too often I was involved with businesses that if I had to really be honest with myself, I like speaking from the customer's point of view, probably for a variety of reasons, presentation skills, the way that their website was, like just a lot of just being an objective person. I can see why they're having struggles. And I'm not saying that then I can't help, but do you see now we're in a catch-22 where if they're relying on me to bring in business, but I'm objectively understanding from the customer's point of view why their marketing is so off, that they need to invest more heavily in being able to redo this in order to create more lead gen machines. Like, for example, if they don't have a good website, if it's not clear what their value proposition is, but then they don't have the revenue to justify like an entire makeover of their website, that is red flags for me, because it's like, well, one of my philosophies in life is I don't count on people's money. I'm not going to sit and judge you based off of like what you're willing to spend. But people to avoid, if I don't understand what they're selling, and I don't think it's viable, I just am straight up with it right now. I even have had businesses over the last month, based off of the community that I'm in, present to me people that they thought I could help. And I went through my questions and I straight up told them, for similar reasons to what we're talking with, I don't think it's a good fit, because I don't want to work with businesses that aren't ready to invest in like actually building out like complicated systems at this point in my career and business. If they want to partake in office hours and, get support by helping themselves through content, I'm all for it. But that's more of a self-selection process, let's just say, than my time, energy, and resources into growing your business. If I don't get what's going on, I would assume a lot of people aren't either. So you might want to start from the beginning here and like, what are you selling?
Yeah, indeed. So people who don't have a very clear understanding of their own ICP, who don't have the ability to clearly explain how they make money, that they're probably people not to push forward with, probably not to engage as a client. Another category I would say of people are those who have opposing values as you. So I'm about kindness and consistency. If somebody is more the 48 laws of power type person, the macho, overly macho, grab the bull by the horns, break the horns, right? Then I'm probably not a great fit. I don't know if you know those types. They're a little rough, and it's not directed towards the work. It's directed towards just like the people. Like it's just overall. They're rough with their
Yeah.
work and they're rough with people. And I don't know. They kind of expect you to be as loud or as
Yeah.
or as aggressive as they are.